Are you finding life hard and like you haven't got the control over it that you want, or you don't have that control in your life? Well, today I'm going to talk about this and something called the bends in the river and how to navigate that. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then as well. If you want to keep up to date with all my latest work and connect with me as well personally, then check out my social media linked in the show notes below. This concept of bends in the river was something I learned from one of my mentors. And I've been in the past like someone who's been like a complete control freak. Like, well, not complete control freak, but pretty like not over people, but maybe in my own life, like it's got to go this way, got to go that way. And I was like, right, I've got to control this, I've got to control that. And it's very naive of me to think, but it's all part of our growth, right? And sometimes we look back and go, what was I thinking? What was I doing, right? And I realized there is no control in life. You cannot control anything other than what you do yourself. Anything outside of you is not in your control. And what I learned from this mentor is to let go of the illusion of control. Instead, when something doesn't go your way, instead of trying to fight it, fighting life, because guess what? Life will always win because that's life, right? Instead of trying to fight it, it's not about like sitting back and go, nothing matters, and then just meditating, because if you just meditate, like nothing's going to show up unless you actually take some action, right? But what I've learned is to take action in the redirected way I've been shown, right? How does it feel to you about trying to be in control all the time? Because if you're anything like me, it doesn't help. There is no control outside of what we do within inside ourselves, and the intentions and the way we move forward, right? There is no certainty, there is no control in life. We can only navigate and use what's given, and obviously take our aligned action ourselves. So I just want to keep this as short and sweet as possible. My last one was a little bit longer an episode, but yeah, really get some messages to you, because I've been guilty of trying to be so controlling of my own life, right? And it just causes stress, causes me feeling really down when things aren't going my way. So I want you to write down lots of things in your life, right? And I want you to create two circles. One saying what you can control, and then the second one, what you can't control. So, examples, what you can control is your attitude, the action you take, your intentions, your response to challenges. And then put in another circle what you can't control, like things like obviously the weather, what other people say about you, if you get a job promotion, if you get that business deal, right? But obviously preparing for that interview, or preparing and doing the research in business, that is actually in your control, right? So make those circles, because when you visually put this, it gets your mind thinking, being like, right? So that's a really good one that I found really useful. The next one, celebrate the actions you take, right? Just like whatever the outcome's not in your control. The actions you take, pat yourself on the back and celebrate, because it's going to encourage you to do more of it. And then the third point I want to share is think of times when it's worked out for you. The bends in the river. Like, say you were like, right, I have to get that job, and it's not worked out, and then you've got a better job. That's happened to me, for example. I'm thinking of that. Like, I was in the public sector for years, and I was like, I've got to get that job. I've applied, right. Okay, I'm doing really well. I've got to get this job. I didn't get the job, and I'm really upset, really angry. Only to find out later that only to discover life had a better plan for me later. And I actually got an even better job in an amazing like business and company. And yeah, years and years later, I lost that job and I got an even better job. So that's evidence for me that I'm being navigated to different places. I've also had that in the dating world, right? I remember dating a girl and I was like, I'll make it work. Maybe we'll connect. And it wasn't like super passionate or anything. And she was a brilliant, amazing girl. And we had similarities, but the chemistry just wasn't quite there. And it was quite early stages. I was like, how do I move this? And then I remember like it didn't work out. And then not long after, I met this amazing girl, and we had this chemistry, this passion between us. And it was just like, that was the bend in the river. And it's quite hard when you're in the moment to kind of experience that. But if you start thinking back in your life when you've had those bends in the rivers, those redirections, that can really build your confidence that may be coming up for you in future, right? Okay, I've got an extra point for you as well. And I just want to mention, if you want to keep connected with me, then you can do that by clicking the links in the show notes below. Okay, and then the extra point I just want to share with you is just have gratitude and thanking out loud for the growth. So any like challenge that comes in, just say, okay, this is a growth opportunity, but I'm going to be grateful, and I'm thanking the world for this opportunity to grow, because that will start bringing in more abundance into your life, right? I've started to go down a bit more the spiritual side of things like recently, and it's really helped me because I was in this very controlling mind. All right, I'm just sharing what's worked for me personally. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people in your life by working on yourself as a man. And remember to lead with your heart, not with fear.